Good morning. I don't really have any stories lined up today, but on my way home from work this morning, I was thinking about what could I talk about today. My little train wreck of a brain was putting all kinds of things together on the way home, and the thing that I come up with that I think is very important, and it's the importance of tipping your server or your bartender. I think that's very important. I look at it like this. A lot of times they're working for minimum wage, and their tips that they receive is not really extra. Sometimes it just levels the playing field. They might even get less than minimum wage, and then their tips with that helps out. Several years ago, I went to one of my favorite Mexican restaurants, and had lunch, and I had met up with a friend. Well, when I got done eating, I don't remember what my meal was. It was less than $20, maybe 16 something. And when I went to pay my bill, it was, like I said, it wouldn't have been like the $20, but I ended up leaving a $5 tip. And the person I was out to lunch with, she's like, "My God, why are you leaving like so much money?" I said, "It's just $5. It's not a lot of money." She said, "You know what they're going to do with it? They're just going to send it home to their family to Mexico or whatever." And I thought, really? And I told her, I said, "I really don't give a crap what they do with that $5. I'm giving them the $5. It's their $5 now. I mean, to me, it's worth every penny. I didn't have to cook. I don't have to do dishes. I eat, go home, and take a nap. I mean, I don't leave $5, if my meal is pricier than that. If it warrants more than $5 for it to hit 20%, that's what I do. But I think people just don't grasp, they just don't get the concept of, they're taking care of me while I eat my meal. There used to be a couple that would go to a restaurant that we frequent a lot. No matter what they ordered, they always left $1.52. And us and the bartender one time was talking. It's like, you know what? If you're going to leave $1.52, you figure out what you're going to eat. It's $1.52 is going to be 20%. I mean, it's horseshit if you sit there and order a Bourbon Street steak and all that and have beverage after beverage, and your bill's $45, and you're like, oh. And then it's like, I only had like $1.52. I didn't realize I didn't have enough for a tip. You know what? You would have enough if you didn't order a Bourbon Street steak. At the same establishment, we had a young friend that was putting herself through school, working her ass off. So not only did she have a train, every video there's a train. Anyway, she was putting herself through school, and so they take all the, insurance and that kind of stuff out of her check. And this one night we were there for dinner. She was working, and this lady and like her 3 kids was horrible to her. Horrible. And when I say kids, I'm talking little bitty kids, like they drank milk, like in a sippy cup, or, a to-go cup. They were that tiny. And that lady gave our friend all kinds of hell. "Well, my kids need more milk. Well, why should I leave a tip if every time you turn around the kids is out of milk, and I'm out of soda, and she required a lot of attention, like silverware being dropped on the floor. "My kid needs more silverware. I need more napkins." It's just like wah, wah, wah. And I don't remember what her bill was, but she left her like pocket change. That was it. And not even, it didn't even match up with what she ordered. Our little friend came over to our table and told us the story, and she said it was so hard to not whip out this check and show her I did all that for this check. And her check, with all of her deductions, with her insurance and anything coming out of her regular paycheck, it was like 92 cents. So if you think about it, how hard would it be to put up with all these people's horseshit for pocket change? Isn't that sad? And yeah, I know, sometimes you get bad service, or you get bad, the chemistry between a server and a customer isn't always right on. You know what I'm saying? So just a short story for you. Years ago, I was just a little kid. My family went to Olin Mills to get a family portrait taken. And the lady that was like taking your name and calling out like Smith, Williams, Mang, was not really a people person. She calls our family name, Mang, you're up next. We go up there. She apologizes for not being in good humor and being kind of a dud. Then she explains to us, which is heartbreaking. And then you realize, wow, that's a heavy load. She explained that she was just back to work from being off because her house had burnt down. She had 2 little girls that was in the house, and her husband and her had gotten out, and they couldn't find the little girls. They didn't go to their safe spot, like the meeting spot when if there's a fire, everybody meets by the telephone pole in the backyard or whatever. So her husband decides to go in to find the little girls. They was still in the house. And the sad part was the house collapsed and her husband perished trying to get their daughters out. So she lost her home and her entire immediate family and was back to work. So after she shared that heartbreaking story with us, we was all like, wow, it was amazing that she could function after such a loss. So I shared that story to say that maybe your server is just having a bad day or going through something that you don't know. And something else that we do that everybody doesn't have to do, but that's just something that when you have bartender friends and server, waitress friends, you just discuss stuff. And from my understanding, if you put a tip on your credit card when you're paying your bill, then they have to pay taxes on that. But if you pay for your meal with a card and then you pay your tip with cash, then they don't have to pay taxes on that. And it's not like they're cheating the system. I mean, a lot of them barely make any money at all anyway, I mean, if you have a good server, a good bartender, you always have salt and pepper shaker, extra cheese, extra napkins. I mean, your drink never runs out if they're doing what they're supposed to be doing. And if you're drinking like a beer, that might be dangerous. And if you sit at the rail, a lot of times you don't have screaming kids, and it's almost like hanging out with Jesus when he turned the water into wine. It just keeps flowing. So anyway, that's all I got to say. If you get good service and your bartender and your servers, all that, then show them. It's kind of like giving roses where roses is due. If they do you good, do them good. You're not having to do dishes. And the most important thing is, if you eat at Red Lobster and they cook it down there, at least your house is not smelling like crab legs. I've tried that before, and I swear, my house was offensive. I mean, offensive for like a week and a half. So tip them well and leave that hot fishy smell down there at Red Lobster with them. So you guys all have a good Friday. I'm going to go in the house, take a nap. I got to work tonight. I love you guys, and we'll talk tomorrow.